A little bit about last week, the East Carolina football game. It's a game I really don't think we did too many things well, to be honest with you. I think the running game was probably the only bright spot that I could say that we showed improvement from the previous week or previous 2 weeks. And to be honest with you, I think it's been a situation where the last couple of weeks we backed off the players at practice because of our injury situation or being so thin and banged up and whatnot. And I think that's had a lot to do with it. And so that being the case, we're going to go back kind of like we were. If we're not going to play good, then I want to make sure we're working hard enough to doing the right thing. So we're going to go back to like we did 2 or 3 weeks ago, and hopefully just keep our fingers crossed and won't have any more injury problems. But I think we got to do something to try to get playing better like we were. I don't think we had the last couple of weeks. As far as getting ready to play Southern Mississippi, I saw the ball game last night. Central Florida won the game handedly, but at the same time, I've known Coach Bowers for a long time and been around and watched Southern Miss's program for a long time, and I think they do an outstanding job. Defensively, they're in the top of our conference in almost all the defensive categories as far as scoring points, points allowed, total defense, and everything they do in defensive. They do a good job. Offensively, I think it all centers around the running back, and I really think they've got 2 good running backs. Fletcher, I'm not sure of his number, and number 11, Harrison. Fletcher's a guy that everybody remembers from last year as a true freshman and did have an outstanding year, and he's running extremely well this year. But also last night I noticed number 11, I think his name is Harrison, that does an outstanding job too. They got a big, strong, physical offensive line. And with those 2 running backs, I think we got to make sure we're doing a good job defensively, particularly up front. But it's a very game that we desperately need to win. As far as the fact that we haven't played good the last couple of weeks, and we go back to the fact that UAB's never beaten Southern Mississippi. So it's a game that we're gonna make sure we give it our best shot. Any questions?
Coach, you guys have given up 90 points the last 2 games. Are you more concerned with the scheme or just guys just being kind of worn down at this point?
I think it's just, I'm not worried about the scheme. I think Coach Schumann and our defensive staff does an outstanding job. We've just had some issues with injuries and being banged up. We're young up front, young in the middle. We got depending on who's playing, we got 3 freshmen in the middle with 2 tackles and a middle linebacker. So I'm not worried about the schemes at all. I think Coach Schumann does a great job.
Are there any changes that necessarily need to be made, or is this just where the program is right now?
Well, we don't have a lot of choices, and we're going to continue to work hard and do the best we can do with what we got.
Do you feel like maybe now is a good time too, as well, to start preparing some players maybe to be able to play in the later part of the season as well as next year? Or
no, we're focusing on this game. We're going to we got 4 games left. We're going to take them one at a time. It's never too late. So we're going to focus on each game one at a time, try to win each one of them.
What are some of the positives right now that stick out to you?
Well, obviously, I don't think the last couple of weeks has been a lot of positives. I think, like I said earlier, the running game did get a little better last week. Brandon had a couple of nice runs. But other than that, I really don't know that I could say that there were a lot of positives coming out of last week.
Coach, you talk about trying to get your guys to play at a high level every game. How difficult is it for you to get them to do that now with the recent, the last few games?
Well, like I said, we'll find out after next Saturday night. But I think the fact that we backed off last couple of weeks of practice, didn't practice at the tempo we've been practicing at, that probably has as much to do with it as anything. And so we're going to go back to the way we were doing it. If we get somebody hurt, we certainly don't want that. But we'll just have to keep on moving forward. But we're going to make sure we're going to give it our best shot and see if that can help turn this thing back around.
In the third quarter, you were down by 14 and had a nice sustained drive to the 25, and when you didn't get anything out of it, did that take a lot out of the team?
I think it probably did, you know, and I think we talked about at halftime, you know, we were really 2 plays from tying the ball game up. You know, people saw Boston College and Virginia Tech the night before, or whatever, it was Thursday night, whenever they played. You know, Boston College really didn't establish anything all night, but yet they made 2 plays and win the game. You know, so I've tried to make them realize that we were 2 plays from tying it up, and but we just we didn't get it done.
Can you talk a little bit about the option of having the quarterback run out of the shotgun? You were able to do that with some success early, and then Sam and Joe both got hurt. And is that something you hope to get back to?
Well, that's something we've talked about, and that's certainly a possibility. You know, the fact that Sam, you know, got banged up early on, we've kind of tried to protect him a little bit, and then thing with Joe, you know, with his knee. So yeah, that you're exactly right, but that's something we've talked about, and we may get back to a little bit. Sure might.
Any other questions for Coach? Okay, thank you.
Thank y'all for coming.